joined by Ryne Nelson, second-round draft choice of the Arizona Diamondbacks last year out of the University of Oregon. Spent his entire first professional season, 2019, with the Hillsborough Hops, 2.89 ERA in 10 games, including 7 starts. And Ryne, first of all, we'll get into more about what you've been doing during the pandemic, but overall, how are you?
Doing good. Good to be here. Good to talk about a little bit of baseball.
Yeah, I bet that is a nice change. First of all, let's talk about the game in question. You were instrumental in game number 7 on our list as we count down the top 10 games in Hops history. And it was the 5th and deciding game of last year's Northwest League Championship Series. 3-1 win for the Hops over the Tri-City Dust Devils. You entered the game last September 11th at Tri-City, with the Hops leading 2-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. You worked 3 shutout innings. Let's talk first of all about the team's attitude heading into that game. You took a 2-1 lead, and then game 4, you lost 6-0, and that was in their ballpark. Game 5, also in their ballpark the next night. Was there any doubt about the team? Was there any doubt about that game heading into the last day?
I don't think so. I mean, that team we knew we had a bunch of good arms. We had a really good pitching staff, a good bullpen to go with it. And we knew we just had one more game to win. And I don't think anybody felt really pressured, but we were a little upset it took so long.
Yeah, you guys had to leave on the bus after winning that game and head to the airport the next day. There would have been a big-time celebration had you guys won it in 4 games, because you would have had a whole day to be able to hang out and celebrate. But in the end, you did get it done. As you entered the game in the bottom of the 4th inning, with the Hops leading at 2-1, what were your thoughts? What was going through your head?
I just knew that was what I wanted. I wanted to come in with the lead. One-run lead is fine with me. I just wanted to come in and give the team a shot, throw 3 good innings, and then hopefully let the bullpen come in and finish it out.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you did. 3 shutout innings, 6 strikeouts. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Do you remember the first batter you faced when you came into the game?
I don't know who it was, no, but I think I know how I got him out.
It was former college foe of yours, Jack Stronach, out of UCLA.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. And I think I remember how you got him out too. How did you get him out?
I think that's the one. 3rd strike, called curveball.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Maybe a ball. I don't know.
Yeah, but the umpire rung him up. Now, about 4 months prior to that, in a game at PK Park, when he was at UCLA and you were at Oregon, he hit a double off you. Are you the kind of guy that remembers every confrontation? Did you remember him hitting that double off you and how you worked him?
I wish I was the guy that could remember every batter I faced, because then it would do me a lot better down the road. But I don't know. I think sometimes I just get locked into the zone and I'd end up forgetting a lot of at bats after the game. So yeah, no, I would have no idea how to pitch him from college to now.
You know, I think sometimes that's okay, because pitchers need to pitch to their strengths as much as to what the batter's weakness is, right?
Yeah, that's how I feel a lot.
Right. Your battery mate that day was another one of your former college foes, Lyle Lynn out of Arizona State. So you had Stronach in the batter's box out of UCLA, Lynn out of ASU behind the plate, and you from Oregon on the mound. During the season, did you and Lyle Lynn talk much about your college days and any time you may have faced him?
Oh yeah, I talked to Lyle all the time. He caught me a bunch. He claims he got a hit off of me, but I can't remember it.
Oh, okay. Well, that stuff's easy to look up. We can figure that out.
Yeah. No, I'm sure he did. We faced each other a couple times, so
yeah.
He probably got it knocked off.
You ended up striking out 6 in that game to what to this point is your most recent professional appearance, and then you turn it over to Justin Garcia, and a guy who has worked the 2nd most games of any pitcher in Hops history, and he ended up throwing 2 shutout innings. You had to be pretty confident handing the ball off to him. A completely different pitcher from you.
That was a kind of an interesting game. We had Gramus starting it, and then me coming in, and we're kind of different arm slots, both power right-handed arms. But then we got Garcia coming in with a fastball splitter combo, and then Herrera at the end of it. I think it was a very well pitched game by just different pitchers doing their thing. It was a fun game to watch.
Yes, absolutely. And Herrera had some struggles in a couple of outings prior to that, but he came in, mowed him down 1-2-3, struck out Sean Gilby to end it. What was going through your head as he was facing Gilby there, and hey, I'm an out away from a ring?
Yeah, I mean, it never feels like you're that close until that last out happens. It always feels like there's still like they're right there. They can win it on this next pitch. It never feels like you've really got it in the bag. So right. I mean, your nerves are still pumping. You're pacing the dugout, but that's what you do it for. That feeling, the butterflies in the stomach.
Right, and then he ends up striking out Gilby to end it. And what do you remember about your reaction and the celebration?
I remember trying to squeeze all of us through the hole in the dugout to get out to the field, and then just out there. I had done the championship celebration one time in high school, and there's just no feeling like it.
And you, do I remember correctly that in high school, and I covered your games in college as well when you were both a shortstop and a pitcher at Oregon. Do I remember correctly that you had a walk-off hit in a quarterfinal or state semifinal, something like that?
Yeah, back in high school in the first round of the state playoffs.
First round, okay. And you guys ended up winning the state championship?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of championships to your pedigree so far. Your first professional season as a whole, how was it compared to what you thought it would be like? You'd go up dreaming of being a professional baseball player, end up getting drafted in the second round. You leave home. And the good thing for you is you got to play your first professional season in a state you're familiar with. Even played some road games in what had been your home college park. But how was it compared to how you dreamed it would be growing up?
It was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot of work and I thought the fun was going to be taken out of baseball, but the fun was put back into baseball for me. Playing up there in Hillsboro was a great experience for a first year of pro ball, and just all the guys I met. It's first year of pro ball couldn't have been any better.
And I know it had to be hard for you because you were on such an innings limit, and you ended up, I think the most innings you worked in any game was your last couple of games, including the 3 innings in that deciding game of the championship series. Was that hard to have a limit put on you like that?
Yeah, especially in the championship game, coming off of 3 shutout innings, 1-run lead, 3 more innings to go. I just wanted to go 1, maybe 2 more innings, but having that innings limit, they're pretty strict about that.
Such a great pitching staff, such a great team last year. The team batting average against you guys was .205, and Northwest League records in that particular stat are easily accessible back to the late 1980s. And I think the next lowest team batting average against in the last 30 seasons was like .223. The second, if you do the top 10, number 2 through 10 were like all between .223 and .227. Your guys' batting average against was .205. That is one of the best pitching staffs in Northwest League history. What are your memories of those guys?
It was just a really good combination of good arms and a good Barry Enright, one of the gurus of pitching. Like, we just kind of all put it together, and it's funny because it was like a puzzle piece pitching staff. You had to piece 3 innings with 3 innings and then a bullpen, and then it was so fun to be a part of. We had 20 pitchers on the team at one point, I think 22, something like that. But it felt like everybody was contributing, everybody was doing their part. It was a thing of beauty for sure.
Yeah, and of course you came out of the University of Oregon, and George Horton, a great pitching guy as well. But what'd you learn from Barry Enright that you didn't know coming into your first pro season?
Well, Barry's pretty fresh out of playing baseball, so he kind of gets all the new analytics sides of stuff, the spin rates and all the TrackMan datas, and that's kind of something I hadn't really been taught before. And just learning from Barry and learning all of his little nicks and tricks, and he just kind of knew how to communicate with all the pitchers and kind of explain the process about everything that was being done.
Yeah, really, really fantastic job by Barry last year. You, as I mentioned, got to pitch one time as a professional in your old college ballpark. Was that a weird experience pitching as a visitor at PK Park?
Yeah, it was definitely weird. It was weird coming out from the other dugout. It was weird hearing the home announcer announce my name and all the fans cheering and being on the opposing team. It was a different feeling being there, especially in the summer. Like, the weather is completely different. I'm not used to playing in that kind of weather. The
Right.
ball's flying in the summer. It's usually a graveyard.
That's definitely a pitcher's park in the
It feels
college
like a
season.
different park.
Yeah, yeah. I did a game a few
Yeah.
years back at PK Park. I can't remember if it was before your time there or while you were there. It was a game on Pac-12 Network, and this is literally true. I've got the video evidence of it. It was pouring down rain in center field, and hard, and there was no rain at all at home
Yeah.
plate. That's the kind of weather you can get there.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see it rolling in sometimes. It'll look like a wall, and then it'll just start coming in.
Did you have to remind yourself when that inning was over to go back to the visitors' dugout?
No, I was worried about that, though. I think I thought about it enough to where it didn't happen.
Yeah. All right. So how are you keeping yourself in shape during the pandemic?
I got trainers sending me some in-home workouts, so I've been trying to get out on the bike, ride around, do some hikes, trying to be a little creative.
Do they want you throwing at all?
Yeah, kind of just keep going, maintaining. We're not 100% sure when the season is going to pick up again. So just kind of playing the waiting game, and then hopefully have enough time to get ready before the season starts.
Yeah. And when things began to shut down, they left the spring training facilities open for a while. How long did you stay there?
I remember there was the big shutdown where, like, the NBA went down and everything, and it was probably like 2 days after that before they sent us home.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, what an odd thing. Was it tough to say goodbye to people? And at the time, were you thinking, well, we'll be back here within a couple of weeks, or what?
Yeah, at the time I was thinking 1 week, maybe two, and then they'd get us back up there practicing and stuff. But this has been way longer than anyone expected. So it at the time it felt like it was just like, all right, I'll see you later, like, see you soon. But it's been longer than we thought.
Yeah. And do you keep in touch with a lot of your former teammates and well, not just with the Hops, but throughout the Diamondbacks organization, and then your former college teammates?
Yeah, I try to keep in touch with most of the guys I've played with, and a lot of the D-backs draft class I'm with, we're all pretty close friends, so we keep in touch, trying to figure out when we're going back and stuff like that, see if anybody else has heard anything. College guys, a lot. I keep in touch with my roommates and guys I played with, a couple of my good friends.
Yeah. And
Especially now, people are just reaching out just to hear other people talk.
right. Just as you talked about at the beginning, just want to talk a little baseball.
Yeah.
Did a lot of people feel like, people who don't know, they think, okay, minor leagues, everybody wants to get to the major leagues. It's every man for himself. But you talked about the camaraderie between you and the other people in the draft class. I don't think outsiders understand just exactly how important it is. Anytime you put on a uniform with a bunch of other guys, you want to win. Winning a championship in the minor leagues, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. Mark Grace once told me, and he won a championship with the Hops as a coach in 2014. And he had won one as a player with the Diamondbacks in 2001. And he said, in his mind, those two rings are 1A and 1B. They're important to him. It's important to win that ring as a professional, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're doing something, it always feels good to know that you finished on top, and you don't want to just go into a season and not give it everything you got, because then you're leaving stuff on the table. So I think there is those teams where there's those pro teams where there's a lot of individual guys, and those are just the teams that don't end up doing good. But the Diamondbacks like to have like good camaraderie amongst the guys, and I think that that team just bonded really well, and a bunch of guys who wanted to win and had the same passion for the game.
And you're a big part of the Hops winning the 2019 Northwest League Championship. And congratulations again. Good luck staying in shape, and hope to see you back on the field soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.